What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease, and don't panic quite yet. Now, that was one hell of a showing at the Garden. Tom Thibodeau went with a 9-man rotation where the Knicks got contributions from everyone on the squad. OG Anunoby had one of the best two-way performances of the season, just cutting the head off the snake, stopping Cade Cunningham for most of this game. And in this segment, there is a lot to dive into. Anthony Towns having the most favorable matchup, just being so aggressive, going at it in the paint. Towns showing the aggression, the swagger, a little bop to his step. Even on the defensive side, he was just as great, showing a lot of effort defending the pick and roll against Cade. But in this series, make no mistake about it, it is for the Knicks to blow. As the Detroit Pistons, they kind of folded, especially in that fourth quarter, heading down the stretch. Cade just making a lot of mistakes. The Knicks are just way too talented from the top down on the roster and just throwing way too many things at Detroit all at once, and it kind of culminated in that fourth quarter, especially with Josh Hart just kind of ramming the ball down their throats to close the game. But hey, I'm not going to say no more. Let's just get to it.
I tell people all the time, you ain't see nothing or experience nothing until you in the Garden when it's rocking. You understand? When it's rocking, there's no better place in the world to be in.
Alcohol, right?
Now, during the regular season, the Knicks dropped quite a few games going up against the Pistons with Mikal being on Cade. And we seen in game one with OG not on Cade, he did not hesitate to go right at Mikal. But in game one, the dynamic between OG and Cade was quite interesting for a number of reasons. We got to see the additional efforts of Jalen Brunson and also Mitchell Robinson, as well as Karl Anthony Towns, being involved in defending the pick and roll between Cade. As right away, you notice Brunson's going to hedge and force Cade to make a wider turn. Right away. And OG recovers. And Cade, this is only a preview, but all night he's going to have to knock down these tough shots, and he's going to have to face a very detailed opposition on his every move. Once again, OG on Cade. Look at Karl Anthony Towns. He's going to force Cade to make this wide turn. Look at the effort. Playoffs is a whole different thing. This time the depth of the Knicks roster gets involved as our guy Money Mitch gets into that pick and roll action. A great contest right on Cade, forces that air ball. Here's Money Mitch being involved in that pick and roll. Look how OG anticipates it right away. He knows Duran is coming up. He anticipates it. He's going to force him right into Mitch. And this is the breathing room Mitch allows. See that right here? This is exactly where we want to get the Pistons to, because Duran, he's not necessarily fast enough in making these reads, and he's not the type of player that could put the ball on the floor or just go downhill and make something happen. Knicks right here going big. And once again, OG, he's jumping these screens. And let's check out the dynamic with Cade kind of being forced into Money Mitch. This is a hell of a feat right here to overcome Mitch and OG. And this is a good thing about Cat just kind of hedging right here, anticipating Cade. Jalen Duran is really a non-factor. Like, just check him out on this roll. He's really a non-factor in this position. What's his decision making right here? Here it is again. We're going to get multiple looks, including Jalen Duran. Look at OG just kind of anticipating the screens, trying to get ahead of it. Duran right here. What is his decision making? It's a little bit too slow. And they get a shot clock violation. Again, Cade on OG. OG anticipating the screen, forcing Cade to go right into Cat. Because again, Isaiah Stewart, the other power forward that they have, is kind of a non-factor on this role. And because the Pistons kind of have a few non-shooters on the floor, this defense could easily collapse. The Knicks just have way too many bodies for Cade. As he senses Mikal Bridges on him, he's going to attack right away. But once again, it's a team effort. Money Mitch is in the way. Again, right here, we're going to see a team defensive effort. Mitch on the hedge. and Isaiah Stewart on the roll, right? Because they have non-shooters, the Knicks now could just collapse. And look at Mikal. That's really Mikal's bag at just guarding these sort of more finesse wing players. Players along the lines of Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Trae Young, the Jamal Murray types, and in a way I would say even Devin Booker. But when it comes to the more larger ball handling players like Cade, SGA, Luka Doncic, that's when we stick OG on them. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns in this series, he has the more favorable matchup. And because in game one, he was driving so much, it kind of set up for easier jump shots. I mean, he was killing it. Shooting what, 70% in this game? A guy was unstoppable. Karl-Anthony Towns was on the attack so much. I mean, Isaiah Stewart had 5 fouls with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And him just being a center who can just pop out and shoot, Jalen Brunson is very uncomfortable guarding him out there from 3, which led to him also being in foul trouble in this matchup. See, the Knicks just had so many things to toss at these guys. You had OG Anunoby creating for himself. You had to deal with Jalen Brunson just being able to draw fouls, even though he struggled in the first half. And you had Karl-Anthony Towns, which he was on the prowl. He was aggressive as fuck, just taking advantage of Tobias Harris. Because I'd even mention Josh Hart, who barely played the first half, and Mikal Bridges really didn't quite have the offensive impact. But as this series goes along, are they going to be able to deal with just the number of ways this Knicks offense could really just go at them? So when it came to Brunson in game one, I thought he missed some easy bunnies. But at the end of the day, Tibbs had him in so much ISO, just going up against a young defense like this. You would think he would open up the playbook to get other guys involved, especially with Beasley being one of the weaker defenders on this team. For example, with Karl-Anthony Towns being guarded by Tobias Harris, they had plenty of opportunity to compromise Jalen Brunson right here with these guard-on-guard screens. Instead of going so ISO heavy, looks like this just generated easier shots. Most of the Knicks lineup, besides Mitchell Robinson being out there, have 5 capable players of who could put the ball on the floor and either take a shot or take it to the cup. So there'll be plenty of opportunities to take advantage of Jalen Brunson's lack of mobility moving horizontally by forcing him to come out and guard guys. But JB had a rough first half. He even at a point tried to draw a foul where he just completely looked a step off. But in the second half, I tell you what, JB finally got into his groove. As you can see right here, he's pointing at Tobias Harris. He forgot about that series that we had last year with the Philadelphia 76ers. Harris was his favorite man to dance on. And JB calls for him right here, and he starts to get into the groove of just shaking Tobias Harris. Here it is again, going down the stretch. Brunson calling for Cat to bring Tobias, come on down. And Cat does a great job forcing this switch right here. And now JB can just go to work. He got way more comfortable once he's seen Tobias there. And sometimes it takes a while in these series for certain guys to get adjusted to certain coverages. We've seen JB last season struggle in game one, going up against the 76ers. And he made his adjustments because there was a lot of different coverages between Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris, Kyle Lowry, and Nick Batum. A lot of those guys are vets in the league with many years of playoff experience. And sometimes us Knicks fans, we do a little bit too much overreacting. So the one thing that remains undefeated in the NBA, especially heading into springtime basketball, is young players taking their learning lessons in the playoffs. No matter how good their team is, no matter how well a player performed throughout the regular season, they always take their licks in their first few playoff experiences. And this scenario played out right here with the Detroit Pistons in crunch time going up against the Knicks. Right here, the Pistons down 5. The Knicks on a 13-0 run. The game is approaching closing time. And why is Cade even posting up OG, period? He's not going to be able to get away with just trying to bully smaller players. OG is one of the few guys in the league that Cade has to pinpoint, that he cannot try to run that game on. I mean, just off the top of my head, it's really OG, Jalen Brown, Giannis, Kawhi Leonard, Bam Adebayo. Those are the kinds of guys you don't want to be one-on-one with heading down the stretch in just crucial moments, especially for the team leader. So Cade has to pick his spots better. Again, in closing moments, the Knicks are really going to have the advantage as Cade, once again, makes a mistake right here and leads to an easy bucket to extend the lead. In this series, no matter how sloppy the Knicks play, if they keep it close in the fourth quarter, they really have the leverage over the Detroit Pistons in that scenario. Again, when these games get really, really tight, younger players, they tend to fold in these moments, and this is where the vets could really, put a lot of their experiences to their advantage. The mistakes in closing moments continue as Cade tries to post up Josh Hart and turns the ball over, and this is down 11. Cade is not really used to playing with a team with so many perimeter defenders that are as physical and kind of hard to post up. You got Deuce McBride. He's going to fight through it. You got Josh Hart as well as OG Anunoby. The Knicks down the stretch did a great job of just giving Cade a lot of different looks. Cameron Payne instantly jumps this early, and just that slight hesitation, that slight confusion leads to a turnover. So after seeing that Cameron Payne hedge, here's the exact opposite. See, when Jalen Brunson is this far back, he doesn't hedge. Watch Cade just go downhill. It's easy for him to just go to work and get to his spots and just touch that paint. Let's look at it again, because when the Knicks are not really disciplined on pick and rolls like this, especially with JB and Cat, just allowing Cade to come around, just go downhill, touch the paint whenever he wants, to get off his shots and to kick out to others. This is where the Knicks find themselves in trouble. And this is exactly what happened in the regular season. You see, once he touches the paint like this, look at Beasley, wide open. So it's going to be important to remain as consistent in those pick and roll coverages. They're going to have to jump it or just be disciplined on what happens and not letting those pick and rolls form early and just letting Cade have enough space to operate the way he wants. But just going back to the closing moments and taking advantage of the Pistons' inexperience. As right here, Sir Thompson, I don't know if he's talking to the ref, but he's distracted for a moment. And JB right here, he's playing dumb. He's about to go straight downhill when Thompson least expects it. Again, a lot of the mistakes the Pistons made in the fourth quarter was all in the closing moments. This is one of the many things that swung this game in the Knicks' favor, along with the combination of Karl-Anthony Towns attacking his mismatches. He has the best offensive advantages in this whole series, and it's by a mile. No one's even close to having the mismatches Cat has, and he took full advantage of it throughout this whole game, and everything came full circle in that fourth quarter, along with Josh Hart just generating easy buckets, just him adding additional pressure on the rim besides the looks that was coming from Cat. It was a lot for the Pistons to deal with. OG was creating his own shots. Same thing for JB. They had to worry about him in the three-point line. Same thing for Mikal. So worrying about these guys along with Cat and just Josh Hart attacking the rim nonstop in that fourth quarter, it was just too much for this young team to handle. But we'll see. I believe this is the Karl-Anthony Towns series and not necessarily the Jalen Brunson series, as the matchup for Cat is just way too juicy. Jalen Duren is no match for him, and Isaiah Stewart, as we could see, both these guys got into complete foul trouble. But we'll see how it turns out. Until next time, you guys stay safe. Peace.